This video is showing you the beginning or the setup for your splatter paint scarf or wrap. Depending on which you're making, the scarf will be 7 inches wide, the wrap will be 14 inches wide. So for the scarf you cast on 50 stitches, and for the wrap you'll be casting on 98 stitches. And then you have a setup row, which is your wrong side row. And it says slip 2 with yarn in front. So we're going to bring our yarn in front and we're going to slip those stitches purlwise off the needle and then knit to the last 3 stitches. So we're simply going to knit these stitches. And I just made a sample here so we don't need to go through all of the stitches. Okay, so you have 3 stitches left on your needle, and then you're going to knit through the back loop. So reach in behind the needle, knit, and then slip 2 with yarn in front. So bring your yarn to the front and slip those last 2 stitches. Okay, that's your setup row. And then we turn to the right side, and I strongly suggest that you put a marker in the right side because this will be garter stitch, which is very hard to tell the right from the wrong side. And we'll move this up once we get further into the scarf. Okay, now you're ready to start your garter pattern, and you're going to work this for 10 rows. So the right side row, you're going to knit 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and then knit to the last 4 stitches. And I will do that one with throwing. I will try to do it because I don't normally throw. Okay, so we're going to knit our first 2 stitches, and your yarn will be 2 stitches in to start. That's okay, that's what you want it to do. Then yarn over and then knit to the last 4 stitches. Oops, split the yarn, don't do that. And I'm going to switch back to Continental because it's faster for me. And we're simply going to knit to the last 4 stitches. Okay, you've got 4 stitches there. And then you're going to knit 2 together. And then knit the final 2 stitches. Okay, and there's your first right side row. Turn your work around, and on the wrong side you're going to slip the 2 stitches with the yarn in front. So bring your yarn should actually already be in front, it's the wrong side. So slip with that yarn in the front, then take your yarn to the back and knit across. And okay, and do that throwing. So again, when you turn your work, your yarn is to the front. So you're going to slip 1, slip 2, and then take your yarn to the back. And I need to get my yarn on the other side. And then we're simply going to knit to the last 3 stitches this time. Now in a minute we'll talk about turning your work, because once you start working with 2 colors of yarn, it'll make it a lot easier if you turn the one direction for the right side row and a different direction for the wrong side rows. And I'll show you that in just a minute. So here we are at the last 3 stitches, and we're going to knit this. This is your yarn over stitch. We're going to knit that through the back loop. Bring your yarn to the front and slip those last 2 stitches. Okay, now let me do those again for the Continental. Okay, you have knit up to that, and again we have our yarn over, so we're going to knit that through the back loop, bring your yarn forward and slip those last 2 stitches. Now I talked about turning your yarn. If when you turn your yarn you're done with your wrong side row, if you turn it clockwise, if you hold it up it would be clockwise, your yarn will automatically be in the back ready to start a right side row. When you finish this row and you're turning for a wrong side row, if you turn it counterclockwise, your yarn will be in front ready to work your yarn wrong side row. It's a good idea to get in the habit of doing that all the time, because your yarn will not get twisted like it would if you always turn the same direction. And especially when you're working 2 colors, that will prevent it from getting tangled. So then we're back ready to do our right side row again. And if you want, whenever you feel comfortable doing it, you can move this marker up so you always have a marker on your right side. And there you have it, the beginning of splatter knit. I'm sorry, splatter paint. You're going to work these garter stitches for a total of 10 rows this time, and then we'll be ready to begin our knot section.